welcome back to English Be Good. My name is Chris and today we're doing a grammar special on the present perfect. And of course we're relating it all to music to make it a bit more interesting. But today I really want to get to the main uses of the present perfect to make it clear for you, because I know a lot of people aren't always sure when to use it. Okay, so before we look at the uses, I just want you to think a second about the name present perfect. Now, it's used to talk about the past, but it's called present perfect because it has a link to the present. Okay, there's always a relationship with whatever happened in the past. It has some kind of connection to the present. So this is something just to keep in the back of your mind to help you relate all of this information and to remember why it's called present perfect. And the first particular use we're going to look at is to tell somebody news. For example, hey, I've just been to see Leonard Skinner in concert. Okay, it's true. I did go about 2 weeks ago. Now, did you see there how I switched to the past simple when I began to explain more details? This is typical in English. We tell the news with the present perfect. I've just been to see them. And we continue in the past simple. It was 2 weeks ago and I went with my dad, which is true. And they were supported by Status Quo, and we were really impressed actually with the guitar sounds, and they were fantastic. And if you don't remember who they are, Leonard Skinner, check out my other video about Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah, they wrote that song and also Freebird and many other great songs, to be honest. Okay, so rule number one was to tell news, to say that something has recently happened. Well, it doesn't have to be that recent, but it's new information, okay? And you don't say when it happened, because if we say when, we're adding a time reference. That makes it past simple. But if you say without any reference to when, and just say, hey, I've done this, I've seen that, then present perfect is the form to use. Okay, number two. Usage number two is to talk about something that started in the past and continues to the present. What do I mean? Well, an example, again, with Leonard Skinner would be, they've been touring since 1973. Now here I've used the present perfect continuous, but the uses are very similar. And later we'll look at a few of the differences between the two, the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. So look at this example. They have been touring since 1973. It means they are still touring now. They started in the past in 1973 and they have continued into the present. So something that started in the past and continues to the present is present perfect. Okay, use number three. When we don't really have an important time reference, okay, when we talk about experiences in general. Okay, so maybe it's not important when it happened, it just happened. For example, if you said, I've been to many concerts. Now here, it just means generally, doesn't it? It means within your lifetime. And of course, another way of looking at this is that this is an unfinished period. It continues, you're still alive. Anyway, so experiences with no time reference, present perfect. And as I said, I've been to many concerts because I was lucky enough to work in the music industry. And at one point, I actually went to 6 concerts in 7 nights. Yeah, 6 in 1 week. And the last concert was to see Motorhead in Hammersmith, I think, in London. And at the very end of the concert, we were right at the front. They were playing Ace of Spades, I think, the famous track by Motorhead. And a big bomber jet came down above the band, lowered on chord or something, or a string. And Brian May came out suddenly from Queen and played a guitar solo right in front of me. I couldn't believe it. So it was a fantastic experience. Anyway, I don't think I can manage that now, 6 concerts in a row. But in those days I was a young boy and everything was possible. Okay, so here I spoke about general experience. Okay, I've been to, of course you can talk about trips, I've been to Japan, things like this. Experiences with no time reference. Okay, the next usage is an unfinished period of time. Okay, for example,
this morning I've been learning a new lick on the guitar, and I've played it 10 times. Okay, so here I'm talking about this morning. The period hasn't finished, it's still the morning. So I say, this morning I have practiced, or I've played this riff 10 times. Now, if it was the afternoon and I was talking about the morning, I would have to use past simple, because in English the period of time has finished, so we cannot use present perfect. So we would have to say, this morning I was learning this riff on the guitar, or I learned a riff on the guitar. A riff, by the way, is a lick is another way to say it, is a collection, like a motif of notes that creates the kind of the main motif in the song. I'll give you an example actually now. I'll just quickly. So, we've talked about unfinished time period. Now, an unfinished time period doesn't have to be this morning, it could be today. Today I've been listening to Bob Dylan, whatever. It could be this year. This year I've played my guitar almost every day. So I'm talking about unfinished periods of time. Now, as soon as you move it to yesterday or something that's finished, you have to use past simple. Okay, the next one is when we talk about the amount of times we've done something. Okay, so if I said this is the first time I've seen Bob Dylan in concert, which was true when I saw them earlier this summer in Valencia in the Bull Ring. It was great actually. Bob is not the same as he used to be. He does slow, mellow, bluesy, country versions of everything. Sometimes it's quite difficult to recognise the songs, but it was still fantastic. I could say also, I've seen Eric Clapton in concert 3 times, which is true. It wasn't always planned, but by coincidence I did see him 3 times. And Eric is good, he's a great player, but as he's got older, I don't know if it's still as exciting as he was in the early days. Anyway, that's just a personal opinion of him live. Okay, of course, present perfect we use with specific time expressions. It's usually used with so far, yet, already, and just. So in the first example I had said, hey, I've just been to see Leonard Skinner in concert. Okay, notice here how we put these time expressions or adverbs in the middle of the auxiliary verb, have or has, and the past participle. Okay, this is where we put them. Usually, however, not always. I will show you the exceptions now. For example, yet, we put it normally at the end of the sentence. For example, I haven't seen ZZ Top in concert yet. Okay, I plan to, but I haven't seen them yet. Of course, yet we use in questions and negatives only, so you wouldn't use it in a positive sentence. Already, perhaps a friend could say, do you want to watch the Bob Dylan documentary? I could say, no, I've already seen it. So I've already watched it. So we put the already in the middle as well, between the auxiliary and the past participle. So far is normally used at the beginning. So we say, so far this year, I have seen Dire Straits, Bob Dylan, Leonard Skinner. I know you're probably going to get tired of me going on about these bands, but just for the examples to help you remember. So I mentioned earlier that present perfect continuous is sometimes used in a slightly different way to the present perfect simple. Often it doesn't matter too much which one you use, no one's going to notice that much. However, there are some uses of each one. Present perfect continuous can express or give emphasis on the duration of the activity. For example, I've been playing guitar all day. Okay, so here I'm talking about I'm stressing the emphasis of the duration. Also, we can use the present perfect continuous to talk about how a situation is temporary. For example, I've been playing this PV bass guitar, which I got second hand, but I'm planning to upgrade soon. It's okay, but it's not quite good enough. So here I'm saying that it's a temporary situation, so I'm using present perfect continuous. I could also use present perfect continuous to suggest that an activity is incomplete. For example, this morning I've been writing a song, or hey, I've been writing a song, I've been recording a song. It suggests that I'm in the middle of it, I haven't finished yet. similar to how we use present continuous as well. Okay, sometimes we use present perfect continuous to focus on the repetition of the activity. It could be, I've been playing guitar a lot recently. Okay, just to stress how much we've been doing it. Both present perfect simple and continuous can be used to talk about the results of a past action. For example, I've been practicing the guitar so much that my fingertips have gone hard, or my fingertips hurt. Or I could say, I've practiced my guitar so much that my fingertips hurt. For me, using the continuous focuses a little bit more on the action, and the simple has a bit more attention on the results, but there's no big difference really. And finally, present perfect continuous is not normally used when we talk about the number of times we've done something. Okay, it's normally the present perfect simple. For example, this morning, let's see. This morning I've played this song 5 times. I wouldn't say this morning I've been playing this guitar 5 times. Okay, it doesn't sound right. So we use the present perfect simple to say how many times we've done something, not the continuous. Okay, so let's just go over the main points again, the main uses very briefly. Number 1, for news, new information, telling a friend something that has happened. 2, something that started in the past and continues to the present. Remember, it's called present perfect for a reason. 3, to talk about experiences with no real time reference, or maybe the time reference is not that important. 4, for an unfinished period. So if we're speaking about this morning and it's still the morning, or this year and it's still the same year, we use present perfect for that. 5, when we talk about this is the first time I've done something, or the second time, or the third, we use a present perfect. With time expressions yet, so far, just, and already. Okay, so these are the main uses, and look back over the video, try and even make your own examples. This is probably the best way to remember grammar points if it's just random stuff, like Jill has seen Jim 5 times today. No one's going to remember that. But if you have a personal reference, which is true for you, in the same way that I said I've seen Leonard Skinner, then I'm going to remember that use because I've got a personal memory attached to it. So I suggest you do the same. Go back over the video, find each example of each use, and write a personal example for each one. And I'm sure that will really help. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon with another video to help you with your English. I hope this has been useful for you today. If you can press like and subscribe down below, it would be really great. This will help the channel to grow. And my name's Chris, this is English Be Good. Take care, goodbye.